everybody, happy Saturday, and I wanted to talk a little bit about something that has confused me basically in the coin world, because I'm new to silver coins from around the world that were actually circulated. I'm not new to bullion, I'm not new to American coins, but I am new to things that came out of Britain and Australia and Germany and France and Switzerland and all over the place that were actually circulated back in the days when money was made of real money and actually had silver content. So I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit. Here in front of us though, you can see this is a half crown, and this one happens to be 50% silver, but this was the first half crown I ever had, and I love it, and yeah, it kind of got me hooked. So basically, but for this discussion, I'm going to want to talk about this one instead, because this one's actually made of sterling silver. Back in the day were sterling until obviously war times and the increased price of silver and the increased demand of silver caused the silver kind of to be sucked out of the coins, and they stopped minting them at sterling silver purities. So although this is the one that got me started, this is only 50%. Let me give you the real fast story. Pretty much I've made it a goal of mine that every time I go into my LCS, I'm going to buy whatever I want, but I'm going to make sure that I leave with one world silver circulated coin. And I'm not looking for numismatic stuff really, I'm just looking for like kind of just a representative sample of that particular coin because I think that they're fun. Now when I first started, I was grabbing things like dime sizes and quarter sizes and all these various coins, and I'll show you a few of the bigger ones I got, and the bigger ones that I got I love. And so these are the size I like, and this is the size that I think is fun to collect. So basically I wanted to draw a line. I wanted to say, well, I'm not going to buy any coins that are smaller than a $50. So I go into the LCS, and by this time my dealer knows that I like to do this. So he always pulls out the world box that he has hidden away in the safe when he sees me pull up in my car. Now my LCS guy is a super smart guy. He knows everything you could know about bullion, old vintage bars. He knows a bunch of stuff about ancients and American coinage, but he doesn't know much about the world coin. So we pick through the box together, and I pick out maybe 3 or 4 coins that I think are cool looking. We'll research them together, he'll price them all out, I'll end up buying one, and he'll put the rest inside the display case. And this way, we're kind of helping him sort through that to be dealt with later box of world silver. Now, I kept pulling out Florins, thinking that they were the same, right? I kept like being like, oh look, this is a cool little half crown is what I thought, and it's not. It wasn't a half crown, you know, it was a florin, and I was like, this thing is really similar in size, but I want to stay true to my goals basically, and I don't want to start buying stuff that aren't on my goals. I don't, you know, I wanted to draw the line at $50 sized or more. And so I was getting confused by the difference between a half crown and a florin. And so that's where this video is going to go, basically. To understand the units, the system that they were using back in the day with these sterling silver coins was that everything wasn't in a currency, but instead it was in a weight. So when you read this thing here that says half crown on the coin, that's not talking about half a unit of currency, but instead it's talking about half a unit of weight. And crown was an actual weight. So let me scroll these conversions across the screen and it'll become obvious what I'm talking about. Basically, 1 pound sterling was equivalent to 20 shillings, 240 pence, or 960 farthings. It was also equivalent to 10 florins, 4 crowns, or 8 half crowns. So a pound sterling was equivalent to 8 of these half crowns, but 10 florins. So it's obvious that the florin was less silver than the half crowns. So I decided to draw my line at buying half crowns and higher, or $50 and higher. And here's a little fun fact, I guess. There was also a dollar back then, and it was a 5 shilling piece, so that would be 1/4 of a pound sterling. But 5 shilling piece is equivalent to 1 crown. So it's interesting that a crown and a dollar were equivalent. Over time, obviously, as the pricing silver increased, these coins stopped being minted with the same amount of silver in them, and that is why the unit system seems so strange in my opinion. Back in the day when money was real, these units didn't seem illogical, and they were just weights of silver because silver was the money. So why make up a random currency system like the dollar, quarter, the nickel, the penny, right? That's all made up. Whereas this was just a description of the unit of weight. So I hope this helps. It helps me kind of draw the line that I don't want to buy things that are a florin or below. Instead, I want to buy half crowns and higher. Just because there's so many coins out there. I don't want to like try to buy one of everything. That would be crazy. So I just set some limits on myself, and yeah. I have a couple fun slang lingo words for you. Quid was equivalent to a pound, so that's just a slang word. You could say, hey, that costs 1 quid, and that's the same as a pound. Another one is bob. So a bob is a shilling, so it would cost you 20 bob for a pound, or 20 bob for a quid, right? Isn't that fun? And then a sovereign, here's another fun fact, I guess. A sovereign was a coin that was equivalent to 1 pound. And that one actually contained 0.2354 ounces of gold in it. So if you do the math there and you convert a pound sterling over to ounces and you compare the two, that would have fixed the gold to silver ratio at almost 16 to 1. So that's pretty cool. Back then, that was the historical fix rate. So yeah, a sovereign was 1 pound. So that means a sovereign was 20 quid or 20 shilling or 1 pound or 4 crowns or 10 florins or 8 half crowns or 240 pence or 960 farthings, and you can see how ridiculous this gets, but basically I just kind of want to share my my stuff with you. Yeah. Cool. Alright, bye-bye.